welcome to another Corey B MTG video. Today we're going to be diving into what Standard is going to start looking like after the first regional championship. RC Bologna was last weekend. There might have been some other ones, but that's kind of the major one I was following. And we're going to be playing decks that did well. Here, you're seeing this on Wednesday, Wednesday, Friday, where we kind of look at, honestly, Wednesday, Friday, and Monday, where we look at the decks that did well this last weekend, try them out, and kind of envision what's going to change at the next RCs. There's always metagame shifts that we see from week to week. It's kind of my favorite thing to watch. I'm not going to lie, especially coming from someone who commentates all the regional championships in the US. It's extremely fun to watch those minor changes week to week. So if you're watching this weekend is the US Regional Championship in Minnesota. I'll be there commentating. Come say hi if you are there. Always would love to meet you. But this is a deck that didn't necessarily do that well. You know, it was on the lower end of decks and it wasn't very popular, but I've been having a lot of success with this. I think I am at a solid, I don't know, let me pop this up. 13-5 or something like that. Let's just show this here while I'm chatting about it. But the deck, has a lot of really good things going for it. I think, here we go. Yeah, not bad. Been kind of crushing with it. 14-3 with blue-white control so far. And I've played Jeskai control. You've seen me play Jeskai control on this channel. And it's okay. But the thing is, these Corey Cutter decks, sure, you play a big dragon, you Helix, you got a good blocker. Sometimes blockers don't matter. So I'm on the side that I like not tapping out as much and still playing cards like Lockdown, but having counter magic for ways that these decks are getting rid of Lockdown. Maybe I'm just getting lucky. I don't know. But this list, I did not change a lot of cards. I pretty much changed a Rest in Peace for a flanker from the list that I saw from the US Regional, the Bologna Regional Championship. Sorry, I don't remember exactly whose list I grabbed, but I didn't change much. It seemed extremely well built to me. All the numbers made a lot of sense. I like the one-ofs if you're taking this into future regional championships. As open decklist tournaments, you really like one-ofs. They make your opponents maybe play a little differently, sideboard poorly, that kind of thing. So the name of the game here is we are just trying to control what our opponent's doing. This is as bread and butter draw go control as it gets. And I don't know about y'all, but that's some of my favorite Magic that I like playing in Standard. And this was a deck that Eli Cassis, Arna Hushembet, all those member of Team Handshake did extremely well with at the Pro Tour, and this was where there was a lot of domain. So in a world where there's a lot less domain, I think this deck could be even better. Now, that being said, I think this deck posted like a, 50% win rate. It might have even been worse up against other Corey Cutter decks. I haven't been having that experience. I've been doing quite well against it, but maybe higher skill level players at the RC versus random Mythic ladder opponents might not be the absolute same. So that's the name of the game. We get to play Hornlock Whale, which is pretty good at putting away some of the bigger creatures, the slick shot show-offs, just kind of anything as that front side, the Lagoon Breach, and then just having a threat. Give yourself something to do with your mana in the late game and drop a 6/6 with Ward. Sometimes your opponent just can't get through that. We also get to play River Regent instead of Jace. Jace was kind of the card where that card was pretty locked in. Jace ends up being pretty bad except against Domain, so we're pretty much conceding our Domain matchup by not having Jace, but I think that's totally fine. I didn't play against it once in those 15 matches. And normally you'd think like, oh, well, that's just pretty lucky of you. I don't think so. I think Domain is on such a decline with Izzet numbers probably about to go up at the US Regional Championship would be my prediction, as they had such a good weekend at the previous ones. I would expect Domain to go down. So we're going to take a look at other metagame shifts, and we're going to talk about other stuff in more detail for our Friday video. But for now, let's play some blue-white control. Our sideboard, we got plenty of good stuff for our certain matchups. Wiltley for Pixie decks, Tidebinders for just a wide variety of stuff, to be honest. Rest in Peace plus the flankers for Oculus, which is having a big uptick. Another deck I want to be very prepared for. Boonbringer Valkyrie, just a great card up against any aggressive decks, anything where you're trying to race. Baneslayer 2.0, you know, if you can ever go Beza into Boonbringer Valkyrie, attack for 5, gain 5, like, get red decks a body bag. And then some change the equation, negates and destroy evils to round out the sideboard. So before we get into this video, of course, we have to thank our sponsors for making all these videos possible. First up, KMC. If you're interested in any of these really amazing deck boxes you see behind me, or any of their sleeves, Hyper Mats, Hyper Phoenixes, all that kind of stuff, I got a bunch of these Mox deck boxes. They're really high quality. I'm a big fan of them. Go check them out. They're at a very affordable rate as well. You can use that promo code in the top left part of your screen to save yourself 15% off at checkout. And then after that, head on over to Heavy Play, where you can check out any of these really awesome products that you see behind me. ETB playmats, as well as their sleeves, their deck boxes, magnetic dice boxes. All of their products kind of work well together. And I got one of their newest products on hand, the newest ETB playmat, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Check out this thing. Woo! It's gorgeous. Their newest line of artists that are making these ETB playmats really come to life. So go and follow that URL in the top right-hand corner and save yourself 10% off at checkout with the promo code CoreyB. All right, let's control some people. Have Plains Fountain Port as our mana with a Get Lost. If we can top deck a land and stock up on 3, this hand's amazing, but is that risk really worth it? I'm leaning on no. If I was on the draw, I think I would say yes. But if we brick, we're just not really playing Magic. So I'm going to mulligan this one. Although I think it's somewhat close. Not even that close, but... Okay, totally fine hand here. I think I'm going to keep the removal spell. We're going to keep 3 lands here. We'll get rid of Adakar Waste. Fountain Port is a big way how we catch up. So love having one of those. And honestly, it's just kind of the main reason to play blue-white over Jeskai, as Fountain Point's phenomenal. So, all right, we're going to say go. Now, if this is just Dimir, this is one trend that actually doesn't help us that much, as Dimir is not a good matchup for blue-white. It's not great, at least. And I do think Dimir numbers are going to increase a little bit. It had a pretty good weekend. Okay, well, now the real question is, do we want to play into their counterspell and play a Beza, or just start doing some value stuff with Fountain Port? I know they have Phantom Interference. Let's see. Does Phantom Interference... How do you make a 2/2? I want to check this out. As if they could do that right now. No, it's 4 mana. So I bet they could still have that. You know, it seemed like they're skipping over. AKA they don't have anything proactive to play, but they could easily have a counter spell. And we could just make fish, start sacking fish, go like that until we get more mana to play around it. Let's do that. It's the conservative play. It's boring, don't get me wrong, but... Okay. So I don't know if I can really allow them to attack here and Kaido me. So I can either animate an Anchorage, force them to have a removal spell, and then just smite it. And then maybe play Beza. Then I'm down a land, but maybe that doesn't matter that much. Let's give it a shot. All right, let's try this. Now, if they have the interference, it's probably... Dang, is that what they had the whole time? That's kind of brutal. Lost a lot in that exchange. Because now it's not great if we draw a card because they get to draw one too. Let's see. Definitely going to play the Plains. This would be our last opportunity to draw a card. Or we just say go again. Alright. Could just ride Zen now, huh? Let's do that. I don't love it, but... yeah, I bet they had Spell Pierce, or... well, then again, our Biza would have triggered their Fairy Mastermind, so I think it ended up being not so bad. Alright, now I'm going to stock up to still play around it. I think... actually, the Biza, I think, plays around it a little bit better. As I can block the Enduring Curiosity if they have it. Alright, we'll say go. Yep, now they can of course have a removal spell here, and we're really behind. They could have even animated and go for the Throated there, which would have been probably better. Yeah, this is kind of why Dimir is not a great matchup. Okay, let's start with a stock up. Okay, the whale is pretty good against them. And we could just stock up more. We do already have one. Alright, let's get the counter spell. And we'll say go. But now if they have a counter spell to fight this, we're in a lot of trouble. Okay, let's give this a shot. Put this on top, please. All right. So we can try to cancel that, counter it coming down. Which I am interested in. So let's start with a stock up, and then we'll have the 3 steps ahead. I do want to land. Maybe I just want 2 land here, as I don't really want a Day of Judgment, since we already have one. So yeah, let's do a couple of lands, get that all sorted out. Go like this, and then we'll say go. Glad they didn't have another one. So they could easily be flooded. Alright, let's hope this worked. This is about as good as it can be for us, if it works. If not, we're in trouble. Hooray. Okay, so plenty of lands. 4, 5, 6. So we could just drop the whale. It's hard to kill. Seems good to me. Yeah, let's drop the whale. Now they can't pay the Phantom Interference, but they, I guess they can go for the Throated now, so maybe that wasn't right. I was kind of looking they couldn't kill it at end step, but I forgot about the mana from Sanctuary, but still reasonable. Yep. I was like, is that a Kaido? Alright, they are indeed flooded, so we should be able to stop this. Alright, that's nice. Now we're just going to cast that and say go, as we can cast that and play the other side, which is pretty nice here. Then they can choose to put that on top if they want. Alright. Whale it. Looks like a bottom. Enter, surveil. Yep. This has been a new addition that we saw from this deck. We haven't seen it in there in a while. Whoa, combo. Oh, I forgot to play the thing. God dang it. God dang it. Yeah, that was bad. All right. I would rather draw some cards here. So let's do that. Okay. Now, do we want to Biza or do we want to play our giant thing? I don't get any of the tokens. 8, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'd just be gaining the life. Which is not amazing right now. Of course, we wish we were attacking with the whale here. That was a misclick. That was my bad. All right, so we'll do this. And yep. Ugh. Okay. We can clean those up. You know, maybe we won't play this horned whale. We might just anchorage as a blocker. All right. Attempt to block. Not going to work. We can make a fish now. Let's do that. Then we're going to sack it, draw a card, and then Biza almost assuredly. Or some kind of wrath effect. Alright, so let's attack. Let's sack this to draw a card. So I can get fish and then lockdown, or lockdown then fish, or lockdown then Biza, but I wouldn't get a fish. I think it's gonna be worth it to play Biza anyways, and the fish aren't that important. But getting rid of their board is, so let's lock it down. It also prevents them from drawing a card if it goes to exile, so let's do that. If it gets countered, we can always Day of Judgment as well. Alright, let's play Biza, gain some life, get a threat, and go from there. The turn 10 spell stutter gets some value, that's okay. It's more of a fairy version, interesting. Interesting. Ward 2, so we can hit it with this. We're gonna want a Biza, and we can whale plus pay the ward. And we'll say go. Untap, 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 untap. Okay, I was like, it is just attacking creature. So making sure it didn't have to be tapped. I was like, uh-oh, this could be bad. All right, let's go like this. Ward 2. Let's pay it. So now we can play a whale, and we could animate if we need next turn. All right, let's start with that. Stock up's always good. Let's get stocked. This game's looking good. Let's get the spells. Spells good. All right, and then let's attack. And then we'll say go. If they play something, we'll whale. Unless it's your turn. We'll whale if they play like a curiosity. Ooh. That we don't, well, I mean, that is a bit of a problem. They're trying to make me draw a card, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna have to get lost this. Okay. Just so they don't draw a card here, I think that's worth it. Hiya. That was a good one. Now, I could cast this now if I want. They're not going to do anything to me that's too scary. So I think this is probably worth it. Let's draw some more cards. All right, these are too late of game. No more lies. Don't need that one. And now we're in pretty firm control. Now we're in the spot that we love as control players. Just get to pick our answers and just pick our opponent apart. And now, sure, they're going to untap. They can do some map stuff, but one more lockdown's going to get them good. And that should honestly be the conceder. Dentist appointment here. All right, we'll say go. Had to get a dentist appointment. They canceled on me multiple times, so I couldn't miss that call again. All right, good to go. We'll close this game out. We're looking good. All right, drop a whale. And should be moving on to the next game. All right, got the counter spell for whatever. All right, so blue-black, almost blue-black fairies we're looking at here. So I don't know how many Kaitos we have, that kind of stuff. But we're not going to want Wiltleaf Liege. We're not going to want Tidebinders, probably or negates. Or change the equation. This looks pretty solid. But for the most part, we do not really want much here. We kind of have what we're going to need in the main deck for this matchup. I think we can cut a lockdown, even though they looked okay. Get Lost isn't great. I absolutely hate the card, but we just need it for Kaito. There's really no other options, so let's do that. And let's get ready for another game. On the draw, and our hand is heinous. Let's mulligan this one. Too many lands. This one's very respectable. We're going to keep, and I think we'll get rid of one of the fountain ports. Have the Get Lost into the stock up. Bread and butter start of this deck. All right. Probably no stock up. Looks like, they're down to 6. I love this deck, y'all. It's so fun. Okay. Whoa, interesting. Left me with the old stock up, huh? Now we got Ride's End for whatever card that they wanted to play, and a Get Lost. So we'll allow that. We'll try to Ride's End it. All right, get that one out of there. Haha, we drew an answer. We actually drew multiples. Okay, that's no problem whatsoever. I hope they don't have Spell Pierce. I feel like I'm getting baited into this, but I don't think I should play around it because I'm going to play into Spell Pierce all game. Dang it. Dang it! If I had another option, I would have. If I would have had any other good option. Stupid Spell Pierce. Okay, horrific draw. And we'll say go. Okay. So now they can attack with this if they want. And we can't do anything about it yet. No big deal, though. Now it's going to be the thing. Do we want to play Biza into what could easily be a counterspell, or be patient and use our draw ability? And I think be patient. Anytime your opponent kind of has a pretty face-up counterspell, you usually want to try to make this kind of play, where you do something at their end step. I guess I should do this now. All right. Just so they don't get Fairy Mastermind going. Lockdown is exactly what we want. And do I just get rid of my other card draw engine? It's a good card, of course. Could just be Biza. Bees is not that important right now. All right. See you, Beeza. All right, now we got to control the board. Ideally, we want to play Lockdown with 3 mana available, but we might not have the time. Okay, well. I could Lockdown, but if it gets countered, I'm in a lot of trouble. I think I have to, though. If anything, I get to smite this, which is not so bad, but yeah. Kind of had to figure that was the case. All right, let's try to get this out of there. Not bad. Not bad. Sweet. Okay. Now to lock down or not. For just 1 card. Or just take it and then try to kill it on their end step. Or use my counter spell. This is the big point in the match, I think. I'm at an okay life total, but nothing amazing. I'm going to be patient. But this is a close call. I think if they attack, I'm just going to go to 6. And be sad. Okay, well, now we'll try to do the thing. Attempt to kill. Is it dead? Okay. Now we're going to be in some solid control. Now we'll just draw go. We're going to try to counter them. When they don't have threats, we don't care. All right. Now we'll start drawing some cards. Hope they don't have a Fairy Mastermind. Don't care if it gets countered, though. Sure. Okay. Now we'll just start doing some Fountain Port shenanigans. We only have 2 blue right now, which is pretty awkward. So let's get another blue. Treasure. It's pretty good. Yep. Yep. Now I'm scared. Oh, boy. These lockdowns are not great right now. All right, let's say go. And be a little sad about it. I think I have to take the damage. It's either that or I try to animate the anchorage, but that leaves me with, like, no blue. So, yeah, we're just gonna take it here. All right. Let's make a fish to block. And we'll say go. We're scared. We're very scared. Fairy Mastermind. Well. I think I just have to counter this. Ah, that takes away all my blue. Yep. Gotta do it. If they counter it back, we're just dead. Or if they kill our fish, we're just dead. So that's gotta mean we're probably just dead. Okay, that'll kill it next turn. Okay. Just trying to get it bigger. No, don't kill the fish. Not the fish. My fish is not an outlaw. Okay, we're going to sack it to draw a card, see what we would have hit, but we are indeed dead. The game was a little awkward, and it looks like our lockdowns got a lot worse. So let's maybe take one of those out. We'll see what we want instead. We could bring in our negates. Could bring in a destroy evil. I don't love more negates against them. Could just bring in this. I'm gonna bring in the destroy evil, although I do not love it. And we'll go there. And then we'll draw destroy evil when we need a lockdown and lose because of it. What do you say, y'all? Does that sound good? Okay, game 3. Post-board games are definitely trickier in this matchup. I'm going to keep, though. Nothing amazing, but none of your hands when you're playing blue-white control look that standout fantastic, you know? Alright, don't care about that one too much. We'll just say go. We'll let that one live. Yep. Okay, we might whale it up. As I don't have an amazing answer to Kaido, but the get lost is enough, so maybe I don't need to whale it up yet. We'll just take it. We'll wait till we have 4 mana so we can No More Lies and kind of back up this ability. This isn't the worst No More Lies. Let's try it. I don't love this, but the fact that it exiles it is still pretty strong. That's the one draw that made me kind of not want to do that, but whatever. Yup. All right, let's try to put this on top. +1 for each fairy. So this does counter our thing. Could rides end it. I want to save that for a curiosity, though. So, yeah, we'll just let this happen. Sure. All right, we'll say go. A lot of draw go. Kind of want to draw cards in response. But, of course, curiosity would make this kind of brutal, but I think I need to take that risk. Okay. What do we put back? Probably just No More Lies here. Or Biza. Alright, let's do Biza. We just really want to try to control them. We'll get more threats. No curiosity? Hooray! Okay. It's pretty strong. It's really strong, actually. I feel like they gotta take the lockdown unless they already have an answer to it. Scary stuff. Scary stuff. Do I just ride Zen now? The Mastermind? I don't think so. If they have a negate, I guess I could counter it, which is pretty good. All right, we're going to do it now, and I do not love it. Okay, we'll say go. Not looking to animate their land or anything, it would seem. They can just dance around our counter spells for the rest of the game, which sucks. Alright, we'll say go. Do I just get lost it now? Probably have to. Because then they might animate this reef, thinking that we don't have another answer. And we might actually be able to out-tempo them a bit. Either way, we're in a lot of trouble. This match has been tricky. Yep. Spell Pierce, keeping it. Alright, well, land go. Here comes the reef. Okay. This is all fine and good. Okay. Alrighty, we'll kill this threat. Looks like they don't have a way to get through the anchorage, which is good, though. This Destroy Evil was looking a lot better than the lockdown, I'll tell you that. This reef was going to go the distance. So, a negate. Now, do we want to 3 steps ahead or just no more lies? I think we got to get use out of our no more lies. Kaboom. Got all the creature lands. All right. Now we'll say go. Dang it. Well, I think I have to go for this. Got it. Why did it? No, I guess it had to do it like that, right? No, I guess it didn't. Go for the throat. So it's either I counter that or I make a fish. They have the Spell Pierce, so it doesn't pay. So let's do the fish. All right, now the race is on. Can we beat this or can we not? So let's attack. 2, 3. Then we'll say go. We're going to take this one. Let's try not to get any lower if we can help it. So, all right, end step. Let's do this. God, why did it tap like that? I was just hoping it wouldn't, but... Yep. Actually, that's pretty good for me, as this Day of Judgment's going to be nice. All right, let's discard this. Sack the fish. All right, more ports. Let's go at least one. We can tap both of these, I guess. Yep, here's that. And we'll say go. We can't really cast anything as the Spell Pierce is representing, but we hope if they play something right now, then maybe we could have, but... All right, if we can untap with no threats, I feel good. Okay. So 3, 4, 5, and pay the 2. All right, I think we can safely play this and say go. Hooray. All right, let's see how many tide binders and stuff they have. Yeah, there it is. Okay. All right, it's gonna be a tough, tricky game. 3, 4, 5. I'm always doing the math of how I can. So if I play a land, I could counter and draw plus get lost this, which I think is what I have to do. All right, let's get lost this. It's lost. Still real no choice. I have to keep doing something with my fountain ports. I can't be afraid of tide binders every time, but okay, that's pretty scary. All right. Let's play another Citadel so we have more whatever land, so we have more blockers. We'll say go. I'm trying to get one large, it looks like. Good, good. That was a good miss, to be honest. A 3/3 here is scary. Lands, lands, lands. They still got to draw 2 cards. Pretty nice for them. Okay. Well, we gotta do this. Tap some fountain ports, for the love of God. Okay. I kind of want to counter draw this. And then if they spell pierce, then I can still pay. Blue. All right, counter draw. Pay. Got another thing? Dang it. Okay. At least we get to draw. Okay, that's nice. Biza is a nice little comfort blanket here. Help stop this too. All right, this is going to be good. All right, so we can go white. We can go Biza. For the love of God, please tap a fountain port. Okay, now we get some life, some fish, some cards. We get it all. And then we can animate a land as a blocker. And we'll say go. Then we can just play this. Yep. That's scary. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm going to animate. I got this. I got this. Strange attack. If they don't... I don't understand. Oh, just a curiosity to draw 1 card? Feels loose. Okay. Okay. Well... 4, 5, 6 plus Biza. I can do it all, right? Okay. So let's do this. NB's, yeah, looks good to me. Return non-land, so I can't bounce this. But I can bounce this. Then play Biza. Draw a card, gain life. Probably not lands. Wish I didn't play that. Okay, I'm gonna say go. We have definitely stabilized. They gotta just keep drawing heaters off the top. And we're gonna be drawing 2 cards a turn. So we should be set. Alright, let's start with this old stock up. It's been a great match. Alright, now we have entered the control the game phase. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can 3 steps ahead full mode. Copy this if they go to play something at end step here. Is it worth attacking with the flyer? I think it is. We're not that afraid. And if they go to play anything, we go 3 steps ahead for the full mode. I believe it cost 8. 6, 7. Oh, we might be short. 5, 6. Oh, no, we got 8. We got 8. All right, we'll say go. Please play something. We get to wreck them if they do. And if they don't, we just get to block with a fish, draw a card. Sack, draw. Now is where Fountain Ports really take over. Fairy Mastermind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's counter draw. Spell Pierce here would be pretty embarrassing for us, but yeah, all right. We did it, All right, these are long matches, so we're not going to play a ton, but we will play one more match, so let's do it. All right, last match with this video. Let's make it count. All right, this is fine. Nothing fantastic, but totally a keeper. We'll say go. Oh no, please not a blue-eye control mirror. Oh, thank God. Okay. So, this is the Omniscience deck. Should be a good matchup for us, but we'll see. We'll see. I wouldn't say a bye by any means. All right, so we'll do this. We'll say go. Now, we always got to be wary. Some of these Omniscience deck, or most of them now, have went away from playing Invasion and stuff like that to more measured approach. Okay, so our temporary lockdowns are going to be dead. The real question is, can we stock up? And I don't think we should. So let's not. This is going to be a lot of draw go. They have to sorcery speed us. So it's going to be a lot of Fountain Port being a star, I would imagine. All right, let's hope they don't put us in check, aka putting an Omniscience in the yard. Postboard, when we have ways to fight their graveyard as well, it gets even easier. And I kind of think game 1, it's not so bad either. We'll just start making fish, sacking fish, finding counter spells. Horned Whale is pretty good. Try to win the game with that. Okay, is this worth countering? Probably not. I don't think we should ever counter this kind of nickel and dime stuff. Even though it's probably going to put Omniscience into the yard. Okay, so they still haven't found it. So we do have a window now, as long as they don't surveil it into the yard, to actually play something because, well, the Omniscience can't happen. And what do they got? 6 cards. Let's see if we can sneak a Bees in for any value. Nope, doesn't look like it. Absolutely no value, but is it still worth it? There's nothing I'm too afraid of. So yeah, I tapped wrong. So I could stock up. Nah, whatever. We'll just say go. Get stocked up. Now, this is one I can no more lies since we're running out of good targets for it. So let's do that. As they're getting out of the mana deficit. Okay. Here probably goes Omniscience. Keep saying it, but still no. All right, so now they can still do it next turn. They just need land 6, discard, and do the thing. So we shouldn't really get too froggy. Plus, this wouldn't draw a card anyways, so we'll just say go. We're all about just getting a mana advantage now. We'll make some treasures. Gonna be a very... Ooh, I don't love that. I don't love that. Stock up, huh? Yeah, that's scary. Yikes. I kind of want to counter draw this one. Let's do it. It might be worth actually lockdowning to be able to deal with this if they do have a dragon. I guess then they just bounce it, so it doesn't really accomplish anything. So in that case, I'm never going to cast it, so let's get rid of it. Okay, let's see if they want to activate it now. Okay, I don't care about that too much. We can just attack it down. It's either that or we stock up. Can't counter the dragon anyways, which is kind of what I'm the most afraid of. So we're going to say go and just try to get this whale going. We got to get a clock going. Eventually these dragons are going to get us. Okay. That's okay. Still no Omniscience. They are hiding. All right, let's get a threat. Okay. Probably just want to get lost this, but we also need to find a counter spell. Let's start by attacking. Maybe we don't have to get lost it quite yet. All right, this feels like a stock up plus River Regent turn. So we can start by stocking it up, see what we find. All right, want the counter spell. More stock ups are always good, and we'll say go. They can draw their one card if they want off Jace. And yep, this is fine. Turn these TVs off. Still no Omniscience. This is kind of wild. Yep. Might just hardcast it here pretty soon. Enters or dies. Loot. Or shuffle some cards in. Either way, we don't care. What are you shuffling in? Just getting some goodies back. Yep, all good with me. You want to shrink it? Yep. Now we might get lost it as they do just have a good negative next turn. All right, but we'll do some river regioning. Draw some cards. Well, now if we lock down, we have a clear path to kill Jace. Now it's looking not so bad. All right, let's think about doing it. Of course, our dragon is still very scary. But then we don't have to use our Get Lost here. Let's tap a Fountain Port. All right. Here's the lockdown. I guess they can just Blast Zone it. I don't love that. Yeah, maybe this is wrong. Maybe this was wrong. We do got all the counter spells in the world, but might not matter. Yeah, Blast Zone gets us kind of good here, to be honest. I should have thought about this a little more. They just get so much value. And I can't counter it. Okay, let's make a treasure. Do your worst. Yep. Mistakes were made. Doesn't this have one too? Oh, okay. There's the Omniscience. Now we'll have to leave all our mana up basically for the rest of the game. Yeah, maybe that was a mistake. We could have just Get Lost Jace, let them keep these in play, and it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. So maybe that was foolish on our part. All right, we can get close to winning, though, relatively soon. So let's attack, see what they do. They have 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. More than us. So Arbiza would just draw a card. Let's just say go. We got to leave all our mana up as they're going to start doing some stuff. They are going to start popping off, as the kids say. All right. Let's see some fireworks. I wonder if I'm going to just try to clone this. Let's see. I can counter plus clone for 6 mana. And I don't have another counter spell available, so it's probably going to be Cryptic. The counter draw mode. Oh, I guess I would. 5, 6, 7, 8. Always tough matches here. All right, they're just going with the Dargon, huh? Can't counter this, so this just has to happen. Bouncing my treasure, eh? Well, let's add some mana or sack it. I think add some mana. We can Get Lost this as well. Okay, now how does this look? Looks pretty good, right? If I do everything? All right. Let's do all the things. Then they just have to discard a lot. I'm still just not afraid of their value. Like, they're drawing into just basically all air. All right, let's get this out of there. Let's attack. We'll say go, and now they're under whale watch. They're under the whale watch. All right, they could have a big turn. And I can just double cancel. Or Cryptic. And no more lies. If they have a negate, yeah, if they have a negate, I have to just cancel here. Cancel. Like blue-white control. I'm thinking about building a sideboard guide for this for my Patreon, and it might already be down there depending on how much I get done. But we shall see. All right, if they just go for another one, we got no more lies, and then we could pay for Spell Pierce if they have that, but most of the list wouldn't play that, I imagine. And if they do nothing, we can just draw or just hold up counter magic, because I think that's their only out here. Yep, we'll just do this. And that should lock it up. Okay, game one. To blue-white control, the superior blue-white deck. I don't know, Abuelos is a pretty good deck too, but... Alright, now we get some good hate. Bring in our RIPs. Bring in more counter magic. And that's all I want for sure. Let's take out the very horrific cards. The Lockdowns, the Smites, the Day of Judgments, the Ride's End. Those are the unplayable ones. Get Lost can be okay. Plus, sometimes they pivot to other stuff, like other creatures, that kind of thing. So, being a little versatile is not so bad. Nothing too great to counter there. Destroy Evil could be very reasonable, depending on what they do. Or, of course, just Tidebinder as a way to pressure them. I think that seems better. And, yeah, our Bizas are also quite bad. So, let's see. What if I take out all of those and I go like this? I just don't have enough cards I really want. So, I think Biza is better than the other options. But, yeah, let's go like that. And let's give it a shot. All right, game two. Let's get the 2-0 here with my favorite deck in Standard so far. I'm loving blue-white control. All right, we only have white mana, but we're on the draw. We have a counter spell. We have some aggressive stuff. I'm going to keep. There's a risk to this, and I would mulligan on the play. But I think it's a keep on the draw. Could be wrong, of course. Oh, no. Are we getting a Salt Roper? Did they lose game one and then they're over it? Well, I'm keeping this in the video, if anything, because that was a good game. All right, good, good, good. Okay. Drew another counterspell, which is great, but we very much need a land. We need a few things. Maybe, you know, maybe this hand is not ideal. Looks like they did not mulligan. All right, let's see if we're put in check. We are. Okay. Well, at least that is essentially right on time, because next turn's their Umbuelo's turn, so we'll be ready to go for that. And if they do nothing, we might just play 3-2 flash, get the clock going. Ooh, that is very good, but we want to wait till we can back that up and make it resolve. AKA one more land, and we can really kind of put a stranglehold on this. Now, is there anything we would want to... yeah, let's get a threat going. And if they counter it, we can just rest in peace. Okay, excellent. God, now it is interesting, though. If they have two counter spells plus Umbuelo, it's way worse if we go for it now. God. I guess if they go to counter it, we would just have to let it get countered. That would also suck. Well, this is definitely the big tension point of the match. Otherwise, if they cast the dragon at end step, we could no more lies it. And then have the negate for their thing. They're going to cast something, right? All right, I'm just going to say go, but I do think it's close. We'll have to go for it next turn, I think, though. All right, now we got the negate for the Umbuelos next turn. And if they don't go for it, then we'll rest in peace with negate backup and hope it's enough. All right, we got to go for it, I think. God, we do have the kind of the same scenario. All right, we're going to attack first. All right, I'm going to go for it. Oh boy. Well, if we, here's the thing. If we negate this, or if we don't negate this, and say go, and they go land 6 Umbuelo with negate backup, we lose anyways. Where this, we could just win. I'm going to go for it, but if they have negate into Umbuelos, we just die. Yay! At least this will still exile. Disenchant's fine, because it still does get rid of the Omniscience. So now they have to have rolling Dragonstorm plus a thing. Okay. Now if they discard Omniscience again, then we gotta constantly be in check. Damn it. I mean, dang it. Okay, so actually if we top deck a land, an untap land, we could have Beeza'd. But since we did not, we can't do anything. So we'll go this, attack and say go. Now we got the negate backup for it, or we can try to get lost it and hope for the best. Yep. Nada, huh? All right. Now we can play the whale. If they do nothing and present lethal. If not, have our 2 ways of disrupting. I like it. I can't really counter anything but an Umbuelos. Okay. We have that covered if they have Umbuelos plus Confounding, as we have 4 mana going. Alright, you're running out of time, opponent. Running out of time. Not countering stuff like that. As we're going to present lethal next turn. So they'll have to kill our whale or they die. Alright. Let's see if they're dead on the spot. Here's a whale. Dead on the spot. Whale. Yay! The whale got it done. Okay, we did it. And we got to the numbers by this video, so that's really all we were looking for. So, all right, if you like this video, make sure to subscribe as well as share this video. We'll have another standard video coming in Friday with more cool decks from the regional championship in Bologna and looking forward for the regional championship in the USA next weekend in Minneapolis. So I'm also, if you're interested in this deck in a strategy guide, I'm planning on writing a sideboard guide. I don't know if it's going to be in there by now, but if it's in there, you'll see it in the description below. And if not, join the Patreon and it'll be in there shortly, probably when I get back from Minneapolis, if it's not in there now already. So thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next video.